Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Liam Crafton Jr., aka Zorvachan Less Than Guru, and today I'd like to talk about the healer. So, the healer's core is the healer from Palladium, but it has a few changes, and I'll explain why I decided to add some powers to them and why they're a little bit different. So, in the original game, they're considered a clergy, a divine character, along with the shaman and the priest. And I really didn't understand why, other than, oh, they're a healer. And that also was they're not, it specifically says their powers are based off of their physical endurance. So, unlike a mind mage, which is based off of your mental attributes, the healer specifically says it's physical endurance. It's their body's just natural, their body's like natural healing. Then they start off naturally healing themselves because their body is just so intuitively stout and hardy that then it can be expressed and they can use their energy, channel it into somebody else and help that other person's energy. And in Palladium First Edition, they also had ISP. So fitting into the Intuit class or category seemed perfect to remove them from the clergy and have them be Intuits, because that's what it sounded like in Palladium First Edition when you read the description of how they gain their powers. So, attribute requirement, that physical endurance, they need a 15. They need a very high physical endurance to be able to be a healer. Any alignment, even if you're evil, your body just might be naturally hardy. So you might be a healer and you still might want to heal your allies, even if you are a healer. You don't need to fight, so the physical conditioning isn't an 8, or even you're not outdoorsy or need to weather elements. You could be from high society, but just because you do have that high physical endurance, I gave them a physical conditioning of a +2. Again, the natural ability to be a healer doesn't require you to have armor, so their armor tier is a 3. Restrictions is they cannot come from another Intuit occupation or go into an Intuit occupation, as natural abilities cannot manifest in multiple occupational paths. So the same thing with any of my Intuits. You start off as an Intuit and you cannot become a different type of Intuit, because those are your natural abilities that manifested themselves in one of these paths. And once that's done, then there's no going back. Meaning you can go back, as I talked about previously, for the adept to that healer, but you couldn't go back and change how your natural powers manifested themselves. So they are considered a master psychic, and that is basically because of their versus psychic powers. Their saving throw versus psychic. So that is at a 10. And then they just intuitively understand medical, and then they get healer abilities. And once we get into mystic stuff, I'll break that down, although I do want to talk a little bit about it and how I made things a little different. And actually, I'll look at the time. If we don't have we have enough time, I might quickly go to that section and show what that is, why I decided to change things. So let's go to the level chart. Level chart, just like everybody, level 1, you have your elective skills, secondary skills you choose. At level 2, you get resistance automatically. Level 3, 4 is where you gain more skills. Level 5, as with magic points and ISP, at that level, you regenerate those points at a higher, it starts off as a base 2. Now you gain it at 3. You get some more ISP for the next couple of levels. You get some skills. You get a better regeneration at 10. Additional ISP at 11. Get some more skills. ISP generation at 5, which is the highest at level 13, which is kind of across the board for all the mystical paths, mystical occupations that have either magic points or ISP, and then you gain additional ISP to bolster your power. Elective secondary skills work exactly the same as in all other Palladium First Editions of the elective skill list. These are the skills you are allowed to take. You can't take any skill that's not on this list. And the secondary skills, you can take any secondary skills, but these are the ones that give you bonuses. Healing powers, see the healer section. So, like I said, I'll probably go to that real fast. Inner strength points. Instead of it being mental endurance like the adept, this is your physical endurance times 2 plus 10 additional per level, because everything is based off of their physical healthiness, is what gives them the ability to first affect themselves and then affect others. Then at second level, they get resistance. And I think this also comes from Palladium First Edition. Basically, they get bonuses to save because they're just very hardy. So they can get save versus poisons of +4, save versus coma death of +12%. They get some bonus versus psychic powers of 2 versus insanity of 2, because health is also mental health as I'm taking it, and that will explain some things later. And that's in addition to any other bonuses from whatever other sources. So that is my healer. Now, let's see if I can quickly go down to healers. Let's see, that is magic. Scroll. So sorry for this. If I would have thought about it, I would have added another page and just switch the page, but I wasn't expecting to do this. But I've done 6 minutes and a couple more minutes to go over the healer powers. It shouldn't be too bad. So that is psychic stuff. So we should be getting to healers right after my psychic ability. So healer powers. So I go all the way up to 4th level healer powers. In Palladium, you get everything at 3rd level, and then you really, for the healer in Palladium First Edition, there's no real incentive to continue being a healer because you gain everything at 3rd level and then you quit. I have things you can cast them at higher levels or lower levels, so I always make sure that there is a incentive to want to get higher levels. And also I added some 4th level abilities. So a lot of these are the same, like death trance, increased healing, their meditation trance and stuff, but at 1st level they are the only occupation that I have that at 1st level you can heal another species, but it's not really a healing, it's a transfer damage. So it's not you heal their damage, it's you move their damage from their body to your body, and then you have to heal it from yourself. And that's why it does allow them to quote unquote heal crystallins and sylvans and other ones that the healing powers don't work on, because they're made of not just not flesh and bone, but stone or trees or something like that. And normally it takes men stone or a regrowth of plants to affect my sylvan species. Since they are not actually healing the damage directly, they remove the damage, and now the damage is on them, and then they can use their natural abilities to heal. So that is one thing. I've had transfer damage in a couple of the games that I've made, or other games I've really liked it. So that's why I added that as a power. Level 2, I want to say, is the same. And level 3, exorcism might have been part of it, but level 4 was these abilities I thought were really important to give to the healer that weren't originally part. And one is cure insanity, because healing can be healing the mind as well as healing the body. But since healers are based off of their own physical healthiness, that's why I made it level 4. The other thing was the psychics, your mind mages, they had healing surgery that in some ways could heal things that the healer didn't heal, and I didn't like that. So I kept the mind mage able to do it, but I gave it to the healer as well. And also restoration, which is a spell. I thought that was important. That allows a healer to If there's any permanent injuries that were done, restoration will bring back those permanent injuries, as well as regrowing lost limbs, digits, things like that. Those were, they might have been in clergy, but they definitely were in a spell restoration, and it was just something I really felt was needed for the healer. So I added a few of those. So the transfer damage I added, um, and the cure insanity healing surgery. I call it healing surgery instead of psychic surgery, but that's what it's based off of. And restoration are all things that I felt from the other occupational character classes in Palladium First Edition made sense to be part of the healer's natural healing power. So that is kind of where it is. We won't get into the nitty gritty of stuff at this point. So, having said that, once again, I'm Liam Crafton Jr., aka Zorvalch, Less Than Guru, and until next time, I will catch you later.